Hello and welcome back to Direct Strike, where today's weekly brawl is a mess, and I love it. Although it's not all that popular with a lot of the community members, and let's get to showing you guys why. Because the first mutation here we have is mercenaries. We may purchase the single-use mercenary units. These are the hybrids that you guys know and love. They spawn, well, only once. You purchase them, they spawn for one wave, then they apparate into forever, and they never come back, and you get you get minerals for it. So those are always good. I'll answer him in a moment. Next up, we have the stronghold, which is all this chaos you see building here. The AI gets a nexus, and their side they get not a planetary fortress, an orbital, and it spawns workers that just go around and build things. And that's about it. It makes a mess of things. Doesn't really affect the game that much. Yeah, they spawn units, but most of the time it just causes our own units to get distracted by hitting pylons, aside from walking across the middle of the map. But what really makes this brawl so unique is the Void mutation. The third and final mutation here. All of our resource income, or at least our base resource income, is reduced significantly, like to such a degree that owning the mid is 20% of our income. Meaning that if we own the mid, not only do we get 20% income, but we remove 20% income from the opponents, which basically means failure to own the mid is tantamount to losing the game. So we gotta really do everything we can to own the mid here, which means generally not gassing up early. But wait, that's where things get more complicated. Turns out, gas is also much more valuable, just like owning the mid. But it's only half as valuable as the owning the mid line, so we gotta make sure to not gas heavy enough. I see you gassing twice already! Oh dear, that's a problem. And he's not spawned things yet. I certainly hope you have a really good plan there, friend, because if they offset our waves and leave us without mid control, we are just going to lose this game, and it's going to spiral super quickly. Oh dear. Okay, let's see if we can come back from this. Yes, libs are the answer. Just gotta keep building them. Works best if you stack them in a corner. Alright, looks like we actually did some good work here and cleaned everything out. Oh, ho, 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 24 eliminations off that one shotgun blast. Welcome to Nova. Nova's a good unit. Alright, let's go ahead and just keep getting some more here, because these guys are going to contest the middle for a bit, and then I'll get to tech level 2. I don't know if I really want to gas here, because I'm kind of like clearing 2 waves. Well, Nova just cleared all that, but unfortunately teammate didn't spawn things, so that's unfortunate. What's the plan, Artanis? Pretty good. It is a legitimate strategy to wait to see what the enemies build and then just flatten them. But in doing so, you have to keep in mind that if you wait too long and the enemies just gain too much of an advantage, there's no coming back from it. So, Tempests. Isn't he versus Raynor? No, yellow is Raynor. What is green? A dark green. What is... I've been talking too much and not paying attention. Okay, I need tech level 2 here for this, so I can start clearing those out. I need to get dark on, so... Wow, that's a lot of infested everything. Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez, he's triple gassed. Oh, dear. His worry intensifies. He is against dark green. Versus Raynor? With the Vikings? Is that how you spell Vikings? Oh dear. We're about to lose our bunker. That's 150 minerals, which is like a whole minute worth of income. Oh jeez, guys. I am so worried right now. The saving grace is that the enemy Zagara is going for swarmlings as opposed to literally anything else. Massive Vikings are go Dragoons. Oh jeez. Oh jeez, guys. Oh boy. This is the world in which we live now. Alright, Shotgun Nova trying her best. Come on, get that juicy shot off. Oh, all those infested civilians just vaporizing. Alright, let's get some DTs in here. They don't have a whole lot of detection. At least not yet. And Zagara is still tier 1 last I checked, so we should just be able to get some DTs in here and start slicing things. Now, of course, there are detectors here in the form of missile turrets, but that should not be good enough. DTs should just run amok for a fair amount of time. Oh, please don't lose the bunker. Ooh, I think we got it. Oh, we got it. Oh, that was close. That was so close. We do have a rescue strike in this brawl, which is the nuke everything. DT survived. Yeah, oh, wow. Centurions just face tanking those banelings. Centurions are a good unit. Unfortunately, we got close enough to the detector to get detected. Okay, well, let's go. Please tell me he has something spawning. Okay. They will be... He's coming this way eventually. And Tempests are really good for stacking, so hopefully they can stack with things like the siege tanks, and I'll just have to be the wave breaker and the hybrid behemoth coming in to tank everything. That's going to keep this bunker alive, I think. This hybrid behemoth does a ridiculous amount of damage as well. It's basically an ultralisk attack, but has 2,000 HP and armor. Well, it's got good armor as well, so it's just like, yes please, just slaughter everything. Alright, now do these Tempests clear the entire wave and then continue to stack and do more damage to other things? And I think the answer is going to be yes. The problem with the Tempest, and this is why I was concerned, is that Raynor Vikings clear everything out of Artanis' sky, and there's really nothing that Artanis can do about it other than go hard on the ground. And that's kind of his plan. He's saying, I'm going to go Tempest. I'm going to sacrifice the early game to go Tempest, and once he starts contesting the skies, once his Raynor counterpart starts contesting the skies, he's going to go ground with the anti-air. The flaw in that plan is that by, well, sacrificing the early game, he's gained, that's like what, we haven't owned the middle in 7 minutes now, which is, that's 7 times 60, which is a lot of minerals. That's a lot of minerals of just free units that they can, well, I say free, but units that they have that we will never have worth of income. And all those units will make him be very, very far ahead in the owning the ground part, because once he starts building things like Dragoons, those Dragoons are going to have to deal with the ground units and the air units, and the air units are going to wipe out everything Artanis has in the air, and then they're just going to turn around and wipe out everything that Artanis has on the ground, because, well, he doesn't own the ground, and he didn't try to contest the ground, which is it's just the problem, and it's anxiety-inducing. Oh dear. But that's just nitpicking strategies. It is a perfectly legitimate strategy to do this kind of thing, because look, this Tempest has 11 kills, it's sitting there, and none of the other waves have anything that can really strongly contest this. So now we're just trying to hope that we can make a comeback and push hard enough that however far we push is going to make the loss of the early game worth it. And that's the joy of Commander's mode, because there's so many options that you aren't strictly locked into owning the mid at all times. It's just in this particular brawl, it's kind of really good to do that. Let me go ahead and get one of these and one of these shield, just basic attack and a shield upgrade, so my units can live longer and do more damage, which is good. There we go. Thankfully they're clearing all of that. Okay, so Zagara is still doing the whole Zergling baneling thing. They're up to plus. I didn't click on any of the. Zagara is up to tier 3 because they have a hybrid behemoth, so I have to look out for that. That means that there could be aberrations coming out soon. That or hunter killers. I'm not sure which are worse. Let's see. I do want some oracles for the air, because Vorazun kind of slaughters anything that Zagara can put into the air. So me with air units right now is basically free damage, as long as they're cloaked. They're basically free damage. Let me go ahead and slide you all the way forward, because it doesn't have anything to stop. So I'll get the cloak upgrade while we wait for someone to lag out. Alright, so rip there, Raynor, which means all of my anxiety is going to go away, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So let me just go ahead and get the stealth drive, just so the Oracle stays alive a bit longer. Oh, look at those Vikings. They were there, and they're going to start bringing down these Tempests. Fortunately, that there will never be more of them, because there is no more Raynor in this match. So now I could just go ahead and start building things to deal with Zagara. Well, there's going to be twice as much Zagara now, because well, actually, it's twice the correct answer. Twice is not the correct number, but more is it's 1.5 times as much Zagara, which is a lot more Zagara, and also a lot more Stukov. Oh dear. But I could deal with these. I do want some air units though, because air units versus Zagara are basically free. As all I have to do is to stop Zagara in the air, is get some Corsairs, because Corsairs just kind of obliterate Scourge infinitely, which is good for me. And then free damage from space! Kind of like the Protoss just purging the Zerg, just not by getting down and dirty on the planet, instead just by, you know, just staying in space and lasering them from above, which is kind of my strategy now. And if Zagara wants to come up to get me, they can, because I have Corsairs that can destroy infinite amounts of Scourge. So, ha! I win. All I have to do is just make sure Zagara doesn't underrun me and slaughter our base, which is kind of the point of the Zealots. The Dark Templars less so. The reason I got the Dark Templars mostly because there was a lot of Zerglings, and I don't want them. I don't want them piling up on doing things. Terrible, terrible things. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna crush through all that pretty quickly. They're the aberrations we're worried about. Darkhans are going to be good here. Mind controlling a baneling. We can mind control a baneling with the Darkhans and then cause them to detonate, which will kind of chain react all the other banelings, which is really good. Extremely powerful strategy versus Zagara, at least as War Zero. So I'm going to be doing that. Also, the Darkhans are very tanky, which means they can kind of face tank the aberrations for a bit longer than most, which is also very good. I'm going to be using those. I just wanted to get a little bit of an Air Force, but I think now is going to be a good time to start getting the Darkhans out. Now, Darkhans do not gain the mind control ability until tier 3. So I'm going to get a couple of Darkhans out, but that's mostly just going to be for having something to tank, while my Oracles deal damage. And then once we get to tech level 3, we can start invalidating the whole Zagara baneling thing. And yes, the bonus minerals from getting the cannon, or at least the bunker, it helps a lot. These Tempests, they just deal so much damage, not just because they live forever. That's the entirety of why. They actually don't have that much DPS, like 65 every 2 seconds. It's you know, it's alright, but they live forever, as you could tell. And then they just slowly deal damage over time. The Great versus, they have a very strong alpha strike, in that if they have a bunch of them together, they kind of do a lot of damage, but we'll come back to that later. Alright, I think we're going to keep pushing forward here. The Archon's coming in. For my teammate, the Storm is going to do terrible, terrible things, which is, I think, the correct answer here, because there's a lot of Zerg and a lot of Swarm, so the Storm will do a lot of work here. There we go. I want another Darkon. I'm going to get to about 2 more Darkons, and then we can start getting tier 3 for the mind control, which will help everything significantly. I like the Oracles just kind of chilling off, doing their own thing, burning things to pieces. Makes me happy. Zagara clears so many things. This is such a strange brawl, because with the basically halved income, it takes so much longer to be able to build any kind of composition that can get remotely close to touching their turret, their base. But, on that hand, we can't just like, oh, let's go full late game and full gas, because if we do that, then suddenly we lose the middle income bonus and we have a fraction of the amount of income that the opponents do. So then we just lose the late game because we didn't control the early game. But it's like, but we need so much more income. So it's like, it's a legitimate question, is what is a better option to choose here? And I don't actually know. All I know is that sacrificing the early game is super risky. But my teammates have, or at least my other teammate that was holding out on gas alongside me, has decided it is now a good time to gas up. And I actually agree, because it's going to be a little while before we could actually clean through this mess. And of course, Zagara is scary, but for so long as I exist with mind control, should be able to stop a lot of those banelings. Well, most of them anyways. We'll see how it works out exactly. I'm also going to need to start dealing with the infested Liberators. It's extremely difficult to deal with them because all of my units clump up, which makes the infested Liberators really good versus them. But I can just kind of like space them out, because a lot of my units also have long range. Give the kind of like a dummy targets, bait targets, if you will, for the Liberators to shoot at, while the rest of my air does things. Yeah, we gassed a little hard, I think. And it's like just now, like these haven't, like, these are just went down, and we're starting to lose mid control, which is dangerous. But I have 3 gases now, so as long as we have mid, I will be gaining much more income than... Oh, jeez. Yeah, those Liberators are terrible things to my aircraft right now, and I need to invest more into the air to clean that up. But I think the correct answer right now is a little bit more important to deal more with the ground. Yeah, especially if we can mind control things like these infested bunkers, that would be great. Let me go ahead and start working on that. Get this going, and then these 2. We can mind control 3 units every spawn, which is going to be good. I do want to up that number, however. Siege tank's doing good work. The hunter killers coming in. For the hunter killers, it would be ideal if I could have the aircraft deal with it. Yes, the Dark Templars are really good, like extremely good at dealing with hunter killers, but Dark Templars also die horribly to banelings, and also aberrations, especially aberrations. So I don't really want to be investing too much more into Dark Templars when I can use aircraft instead. Yeah, the Oracle's just going to come in here while the Liberators are distracted and clean up all these ground forces. Yeah, okay, not fast enough, however, because we still lost our cannon. Alright, so now Zagara has detection. And so now we have we mind control the aberrations. That's some good damage output. There we go. Nice. I don't think I have... Yeah, none of my units survived that, which is sad. Alright, so now we have a lot of extra energy here. Oh, that's a nuke. That's one way to clear up the Zerg. Just nuke them. Dude, Nova getting 26 kills with that one shotgun blast. My lord. That's so much damage. Nova's so fun to use. Let's get a couple more Darkons here. Let me get one more Darkon and then start working on air control here. If I can just get a mind control off on like one of these banelings in this mess, then we'd remove all of that baneling swarm, which would be great, but we have to actually, you know, make it there. And now that I'm tier 3, I can start investing into the later game hybrids, which means better mineral investment on my part, or at least energy investment on my part. Aha, the confused Liberators dealing damage themselves. Unfortunately, they aren't very good at destroying themselves, so that's not ideal. Alright, let's start putting these guys down. I can drop 3 of you guys, just 1, 2, 3. They are the biggest and the best. They don't have as much damage output as the, what are they called? The other ones here, the Hybrid Dominators. But they are a little bit cheaper, and they provide a little bit more resources, so that's nice. Let me go ahead and get some of these guys back here. And drop you guys here. Nope, why can't I click properly today? Thank you. Nice. Orderly line. And that's all I'm going to get for this wave. Go ahead and get one more upgrade. Get an air weapons attack. Air weapons upgrade. Ooh, so much stun. Alright. Splash damage based units, clear them out, please. Thank you. Now they have this. And because the only thing that Zagara has in the sky is the detector, well, my air-to-air only units are going to be clearing out those detectors pretty quickly here. It means that it's going to force him to either scan or just accept that his units are going to die horribly to stealth units. He did elect to scan, which is good for me. Let's see. How is this going to go? He has enough Tempest to beat out those Liberators. That's very good. Very, very good, actually. Alright, good storms. That is so much storm. And all of the expiring Tempests are taking the hits for the ones that aren't about to expire. Nice. And there's a fresh wave of Tempests just kind of hanging out, blowing things away. We have a nice siege line. The siege units I have available to me are going to be the Void Rays. I don't know if those are going to be a good call for me right now. I'm thinking yes, because they are going to be the things that can clear out the infested Liberators. At least while the Liberators are trying to clear out the rest of my things. My Darkon is still alive here, which means they could, well, make all the banelings explode on themselves, which is very good. Now my teammate doesn't have to deal with all those banelings. Nice. Just a couple aberrations leak through that mess. Let me go ahead and start working on these guys then. I do want to pile all these in a corner. Just so they can start working on the infested liberators one at a time instead of, you know, spread out. That would be ideal. I think I want to be using my ability, my black hole ability, on my opponents, or on my teammates' wave. Just to stack with the splash damage, you know. Make all the units go into one little group, and then the Archons come through and splash everything down. Please Storm. Do none of you have Storm? None of them had Storm. That's really unfortunate. Oh dear. That's extremely unfortunate. Oh well. I was really hoping I could get one Storm there, because one Storm would have dealt Storm damage to every single unit pretty much in his wave, which is kind of a lot of damage. And that's what I was going for here. Alright, you guys need your range, so that way you can actually do siege things. Oh dear, they're being distracted by tiny marines. That's not ideal. If we get the extra range, we can work on that. Also, I want more of them. That way they can actually burn through that lone marine that decides to distract the group. Rather than just kind of sit there endlessly, hoping to make it through. That would be great. It's already 20 minutes in, we have so few units on the field. Oh jeez. Well, tanks are gone, but at least most of the banelings went with it. Right, one more Void Ray for the spawn wave. Nice. Let's get into air armor. It should help out against the Liberators. And how well do we do versus the Liberators? Good, we're able to focus them down with our Void Rays and just start on one side and go to the other. Very good. That's how you clear the skies. Just a little bit of Darkon to keep everything distracted, a little bit of Corsairs to tank for the Void Rays, and a little bit of Void Ray. This thing has 6 kills. A little bit of Void Ray to clear everything else up. Now, the reason I didn't want to invest too heavily into Void Rays is because of these Hunter Killers here. Look how long it takes for Void Rays to kill even a single Hunter Killer. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's what the Oracles are for. Oracles are Dark Templar. How many kills are I have so many kills. Oh, it's so beautiful. Alright, if they're gonna get that many kills, we should just get some more of them, because they're clearly super effective. I mean, most of them are gonna be versus things like the infested Marines and the civilians and such, the Zerglings, but ooh boy. Let's get the Disruption Web, and also the Shadow Strike. That way the DTs can live longer and get off a second cast of their ability. Yes, please stun all the things. Thank you. Where are the Corsair? I need these Corsairs a little bit more forward. So my Oracles go in second for the cleanup as opposed to first and die horrendously. The Siege Rays, long enough range, are sitting behind the Tempests, which is a weird thing to see. Alright, so I want to pull you guys backward. That way the Corsairs have a better chance to go forward and clear out the detection. Let's get a couple more of you, and then we'll start getting more ground forces here to help clear out the ground, I think. I'm between the Stalkers and more DTs. DTs are good at cleaning out the Hunter Killers. Stalkers are good at tanking the hits from the Aberrations and the Banelings. I'm not sure which we need more. Wow. Those siege tanks, 15 kills, 7. They do terrible, terrible things to those Hunter Killers. Oh, jeez. Focus the Liberators, you Tempests! Okay, well. Now my units will come in and do it. They have so much detection, guys. So much detection. Please clear out all these missile turrets and things. Still some Corsairs up trying to deal with the Overseer. Come on, get it, get it, get it, get it. Yes. I think we actually cleared up all the detection here. Yeah, we did. Nice. That's useful. If only... Oh, the hybrids are detectors. That's not ideal. Alright. Let's get some more ground units here. DTs will do it. If I can mirror this onto the other side, we'd probably be getting rid of most of the ground forces available to the opponents at this point. This is a good match. Tier 4. I should just get the rest of these upgrades here. See, this is why I like this Brawl. It's not about what you can get. It's about what is ideal, what is more cost efficient to get. And that's what I'm not entirely sure about a lot of the time. Alright, we just cleared off the detection, so now the Oracle, do we survive surviving Oracles? Nope, they still have a detector somewhere. Where are you? Where's their detector? I don't see a detector. I'm guessing the Oracles were just too close to this missile turret, I guess? Okay. Well, let me finish I keep distracting myself with the sound of my own voice, but that's the thing I like about this Brawl. It's not about what you can get, it's about what is most efficient, or at least most cost efficient in this case. Is it better for me to get 10% damage on all of my ground forces, or 5% damage on everything? I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Ground forces are kind of good. So are my air forces. I'm kind of split, so it's probably better for me to get the tier 4 here with a 5% across. Yeah, definitely not the air forces. I'm definitely a little split here. Shields, though. Shields go for both, so I'm going to be getting that. Alright, you just stop. Corsairs do Corsair things. Oh, that. Thank you. Corsairs cleared everything in the sky. Now we can burn through pretty much anything we want, except for the Hunter Killers. Oh, the shields. The shields. They kept the front line alive long enough for the backline to get fully sieged, which means these Hunter Killers are about to evaporate. That was a lot of Hunter Killers. Now there are a lot less Hunter Killers. Okay, so we got that. Let's just go straight to tier 4, because that's good for everything. I don't think there's any other things here that I really need. Yeah, no. Stalkers would be good to deal with a lot of these, just taking hits. I don't think I'm going to need them this time, just because I have Darkons to tank for me, but, oh dear. Yeah, we're clearing a lot of these Hunter Killers from the right side. It's the left side that's struggling in damage output here. Yeah, I think DTs are going to be the answer, especially because we're pretty consistently clearing out the detection. The DTs are running amok and freely do what they want. I mean, if they want to scan for 25 minerals every time, I am very okay with this. Alright, get the plus 5% on everything, and then we're just going to get DTs. Just get a full line of DTs on the left side here, so we can clear up both sides of those Hunter Killers consistently. That's how this is going to go. And I'm going to be, I think that'll do it. Of course, this is only talking about the Zagara, but we have a similar scenario with the Stukov here. The Stukov has a lot of small units, a lot of small light units, just like these Hunter Killers, but unlike the Hunter Killers, the Stukov's units aren't nearly as good, so we should be able to deal with them just the same. Yeah, 11 kills. Siege tanks do so much damage, guys. Look at all these tiny units on the ground, and he's got them scattered, and a whole another second wave that comes in from the rear. Yeah, we're just gonna mind control all of his infested bunkers, have them tank for us, and do their damage. They actually do quite a lot of damage. And then once the battle is over, they'll stop being mind controlled, and we can clear everything out. DTs do terrible, terrible things to everyone involved. We don't have mind control off cooldown. That's unfortunate. The confusion doesn't cause the banelings to detonate. It's only the mind control, because we have two abilities, basically the same thing. We have mind control, which takes total control of the unit for 8 seconds. Then we have confusion, which does basically the same thing, but is an AoE, and it only works for 2 seconds. But the confusion doesn't cause banelings to trigger, so that's sad. Mind control does. So if we mind control one baneling in the mass, then it detonates everything nearby. But if we confuse all the banelings of the mass, like the entire mass itself, then they don't detonate. So that's kind of mediocre. I mean, they also won't detonate on my own units, but minor details. That is so much storm. Oh, so much storm. And it didn't clear up everything, which is sad. Okay. Put this out. He's getting Scourge in the mix. Fortunately, they're unable to touch the Corsairs. Alright, did we just clear out all this Dukov air? We just cleared out all this Dukov air while they were confused. This is good. Another wave of confusion going out. Get the Marines doing damage themselves. And we did terrible, terrible damage to this Dukov wave. Weren't able to completely destroy it. And Planetary Fortress got 11 kills of our units. So we are pushing very far ahead here. We have the next tier, the next upgrade available, and Black Hole. Contemplating saving these tanks. I don't think it's worth it at this point. I'm gonna let these Archons clear out all these guys of their own accord, and once the cooldown comes off, I will Black Hole for the next wave. This should have plenty of storms left for the next wave, so now I could just do one of these. Let everything get sucked in, and there's the storm, and everything in that black hole goes bye-bye. That's how you do it. Oh! They just nuked my teammate's wave. Fortunately, the Guardian Shell means they're invulnerable, so the Tempest survived. And we can push on to this next group, which is good for us. Alright, come on, confused blow. Oh! Oh! There was the mind control on the banelings, detonating every single baneling in that wave. That's how you do it. Oh, that was so satisfying. I wish I could see that in slow motion. You can mind control a baneling, and the entire Zagara wave goes away. Whew. Oh boy. This is good. And now Nova just has a bunch of tanky units and a shotgun, just walking forward. Look at all the dismembered Zerg. Oh dear, I need another one of you. Only getting one. Do you want to get the weapon upgrade here? Thank you. For those wondering, no, we cannot use the rescue strike offensively. It only works on our half of the map. That is so much storm. That is so much storm. Oh dear. I think that's enough corruptors to yeah, that's enough corruptors to take out all those Tempests. I think that's also enough corruptors to take out my wave. But I just have the benefit of not having to fight all the corruptors because, well, yeah, they're having to fight through the Artanis wave first. We touched the Planetary Fortress, but we're not going to take it out here. Just how much damage can we do to this wave? Oh, that's a lot of infested Marines. Okay. Need more Dark Templars. Clear everything out on the ground. These Dark Templars aren't racking up the eliminations like these are. Oh. They are better prepared to deal with DTs. By that I mean they have more aberrations. Yeah, those corruptors are not going to make it through. Alright, I think it is about time we spawn a couple more of these guys. 2, 3. And so my next spawn in 1 minute should be able to do it. Massing Archons versus all bio. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of dirty. It's kind of ridiculous. It's just a lot of storm, guys. We're still clearing out their detection pretty reliably, it appears. At least, you know, when we're not fighting on top of their base. Yep, there go the banelings. That's satisfying to watch. I mean, I just don't have enough ground forces here. The banelings also appear to be taking out my DTs, which is not pleasant. Oh jeez, that means time for more Darkons. Just get a second set of 3 here. My next spawn in 18 seconds. I won't be able to get one of those out, so 30 seconds. Ooh, but we will be able. Strike weapons will come off cooldown, however, before my wave makes it to the next side. Don't think we're gonna have the resources for it, but we have our siege tanks sitting up on their base. Are they gonna be able to? Well, Zagara's here. Zagara is like the ultimate in purging of things. Okay, this is fine. Black hole in 20 as well. I will have a black hole along my wave too. It's like the perfect storm of lining everything up, completely and entirely. Well, that was a complete accident. Didn't intend to do that. Strike weapons coming off cooldown. That means it'll be here, and black hole in right now. Never mind, we got nuked. But is it enough? Oh, we're dealing damage. Oh, we brought it down to 25. Oh, come on, so close. Oh, close. We almost got it, guys. The perfect storm, and they had a nuke to stop it, which is not a big surprise. But I think that's their last nuke, so they have no more saving graces anymore. All we gotta do is do that one more time. Oh man, they were actually, that was a good call on their part. Saving a nuke for that moment exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a hurricane worth of storms. Oh dear. Let's get level 2 here. I think it's about time for that. And I'll start going more aircraft because I can. I think as painful as it is, as slow as process as it is, I think Void Rays are going to be the answer here just because they're the siege unit. And they could sit in back and stack and do damage while everything else has problems. Yeah, sure, the Void Rays don't deal much damage to anything but armored, but I think it is the appropriate answer here. Zagara gonna unstack this? Yes, Zagara is definitely gonna unstack this. Well, there go all of our air units. But the rest of the units will not be coming back. Nice. Oracle's putting in good work. Void Rays, almost as good work. They just live for so long, they can deal so much damage. Alright, let's get one more before our next wave spawns. Are they actually pushing us back here? I realized that they kind of started the stack and the bouncing process, but I kind of expected us to start pushing back a little bit sooner than this. Alright, let's get air weapons 3 while we're waiting. And we'll start saving for tech weapons 4. Hold on. Clear that out. Just the baneling pop. There we go. Clear all that out. No more Scourge for you. Corsairs cleaning up all leftover Scourge, Void Rays, and Tempests now stacking. Oh dear, that's so much splash damage. Yeah. I want more aircraft. Ooh. Seeker missile taking out seven Zergs. The Raven Seeker missile. That's one of Nova's AoE options. It's not commonly used just because of how expensive it is, but it can certainly make a big difference at times. Alright, I can fit one more Void Ray here without sacrificing too much. With that, I'm going to want an air weapons, and then we'll start saving for strike weapons. I'm kind of ignoring ground armor, because a lot of my ground units don't really have HP. They have shields instead, like Archons, for example. DT's basically the same case as Archons. The only unit I have that has any reasonable amount of HP is the Centurions at 100 HP. But like everything else is literally like 10 HP on the Darkons, so it's like, Armor's not that great of an investment. Sure, it'd be nice to have, but I'd rather invest into other things that are going to do more damage. We're on the base! Oh! We touched it again, but we didn't. We cleared out its shields and did some HP damage, but we didn't actually finish it off. Those hunter killers. They do so much work. If only I could get my DTs into the hunter killer line without having to go through the baneling line, that would be great. But lacking the ability to do that, I need to be able to burn them down afterwards. Black hole is available once again. We're not getting onto the planetary fortress this time. Siege tanks are here. Can we save the siege tanks? We might actually be... If the black hole, we could definitely save the siege tanks. And that might be enough. Yeah, no. Just shut all that down, let the storm group everything up, and purge everything. Thank you. There we go. Strike weapons will be kicking in for me as my wave hits-ish. Moments after my wave hits. And Darkons still have their abilities, so we should be able to stun everything and just ignore everything and get out to the planetary fortress. And there it is! GG. Alright guys, make sure to join the community Discord so that you can get notifications whenever we go live here on the channel. That's right, if you want to see StarCraft live where you can interact, make sure to join the Discord because that's where we post all our notifications about how you too can join these community games. But for now, I'll see you guys later.